from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Great to have you with us today. We have a lot to talk about. And this Epstein thing, it's just not going away. As I know the president would love for this to go away, but for whatever reason, the president does not want the Epstein file to be released. What I find fascinating is we were told that the Epstein file did not exist, right? That was the latest coming out of the Justice Department, but now apparently it does exist after all. And there's been a lot of hullabaloo over whether or not this thing ought to be released. Now, I was talking about this last night on Newsmax, and it caused a bit of controversy because I basically took everybody to task. I think this is one of those rare moments where everybody needs to be taken to the woodshed because this is a mess. And it doesn't need to be a mess, but it's a mess. And I'm not sure why it's a mess or why somebody wants it to be a mess, but it's a mess. Anyway, last night the mess got a little worse because the Democrats, and you know how they love to play politics here, the Democrats smell blood in the water, and they made a motion to release the Epstein file, which House Republicans immediately shut down. Again, it's just a bad look. So here's where we're at on this, and there are a lot of theories around what's happening with this Epstein situation, which, by the way, is over 20 years old. And I've been pretty clear, at least on this program, that we do need to know if there were powerful people that were abusing children. If we have pedophiles in positions of power, we need to know who those people are, and they need to be put away. And that is something that I'm I've been pretty clear about. But there are a couple of things that could be going on here, and President Trump pointed this out. He said it's very clear that the Democrats may have been playing politics. Maybe they added names to the list, or they did things to the list that are going to make Republicans look bad, or what? We don't know. It's conjecture at this point. But what is clear is that for some reason the president does not want this list released. Period. Now, say what you will, because there are a lot of folks on both sides of this who are very vocal about their opinions. I do not believe that President Trump's name is on that list. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense. If it was, the Democrats would have already released it. This would have been done during the Biden administration, or it would have been done as soon as Trump, declared his candidacy again. So I don't think Trump's name is actually, I'm pretty confident to say Trump's name is not on the list. But clearly, he's got a reason why he doesn't want this list to come out. He's been told something, and again, going back to the campaign trail, the president was, he was talking about releasing it, or at least looking at the possibility of releasing it. But for me, this was not why I went to the ballot box on Election Day. For some of you, it was. For some of you, the only reason you wanted to elect Donald Trump is to have the Epstein file released. And okay, fine. You're going to be disappointed, but okay, I get that. That's kind of a weird reason to go to the ballot box, but okay, if that's what got you out there, that's what got you out there. So anyway, a little bit of news involving Dan Bongino. And Bongino said that it was either Pam Bondi or him. Somebody had to go. Well, the reporting is now, and there are a lot of people leaking out of the White House and the Justice Department on this, but the latest reporting is that Bongino has really rethought things, and he's back to work. Tucker Carlson is out there saying that Dan Bongino got completely shafted in the Epstein mess, cut number 12.
As we're recording this, Dan Bongino is threatening to resign if Pam Bondi does not resign as AG. What does that tell us, in your opinion?
Well, it tells us that Dan Bongino got shafted, completely shafted. And I'm saying this as a friend of his and someone who respects and likes him, but also just as an observer, an informed observer of it. So Pam Bondi, who's, by the way, I don't hate Pam Bondi. She's a totally nice person. If she was here, you would enjoy, I don't know if you know her, but she's a very nice person. I'm not against Pam Bondi in the slightest. But the fact is, she got on television on Fox News and started saying stuff like, I've got the client list on my desk. And actually, no, you don't. And I've got thousands of videos of Epstein having sex with kids. Well, actually, no, you don't. Most of the material was commercial porn taken off his computer. Like, that's just not true. Why did she say that? Probably because she's insecure and she's trying to please the audience, I would expect.
Do you think Dan is upset because his integrity is being questioned now over her mistakes?
Oh, my gosh. So you're Dan, and you're a media figure, and you've got one of the biggest podcasts in the country, and you're making tons of money, and you're having a great time, which he was. You just built this brand new studio in Florida. You work with your wife, who you really like, which she does. And you get the call saying you'd be deputy FBI director. And you're like, I love Donald Trump. I love this country. I will, cut my pay by, into a tenth of what it was. And I will leave my house and move to D.C., which is a kind of prison sentence itself. And I will do this because I love the president. I love the country. And you're there a few months. And all of a sudden, everybody thinks you're covering up Epstein's crimes. And it kind of wrecks Dan's career. Like, he can't go back. It's going to be very hard at this point. I mean, things may change, but as of today, pretty hard for Dan to go back to his podcast audience and be like, I'm telling you the truth, when they all think that he's covering up for Epstein.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker raises a great point. And look, I know Pam Bondi. She is a very nice person. I don't know what's going on now that she's in charge of the Justice Department. I don't get that at all. It doesn't make any sense. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, there's that part of the story. And by the way, I've known Dan Bongino. He and I are cordial. But Bongino, if you say something that Bongino doesn't like, then you get holy you-know-what thrown at you. But that's just Bongino's personality. That's who he is. And a lot of people love him for that. But to Tucker's point, it puts Bongino in a tough spot, because this is pretty much how he built his media career, on these conspiracy theories surrounding, for example, Jeffrey Epstein. So then you have Charlie Kirk over the weekend, and that entire weekend was very bizarre and very troubling, because there was a lot of anti-Semitic stuff being said from the platform at the Turning Point USA conference, and you had thousands of very young people, many of them teenagers, that were just soaking all of this in. This anti-Israel, anti-Jewish nonsense. And by the way, I want to give you the clue here why I'm using the term anti-Semitism. They were going after billionaires who support Israel, but the billionaires happen to be Jewish. They weren't going after the Christian billionaires who support Israel, only the Jewish billionaires. So they showed their cards. All right. So, and I don't know what's going on there, and I don't care. That is their shtick, and they can do whatever they want to. But the entire weekend was attacking Pam Bondi over the Jeffrey Epstein thing. So clearly, Charlie Kirk got a telephone call from somebody, because this is what he said yesterday. And again, after a whole weekend of Pam Bondi and DOJ bashing, here's the version that Charlie's going with now, cut 14.
Plenty was said this last weekend at our event about Epstein. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine. We have escalatory action potentially being taken in Ukraine and Russia. We have tons of announcements happening when it comes to NATO. But let me just say this again. Everyone knows my opinion about the Epstein thing, the messaging fumble. I would love to see the DOJ move to unseal the grand jury testimony. I think that would be a big win. I would love to see that. And I'm going to trust my friends, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, my friend Pam Bondi, all these guys. I'm going to, Todd Blanche, I'm going to trust them to solve it. Ball's in their court. I think that there was plenty of, let's say, speeches that were directed towards this topic this last weekend. So we don't need to spend our valuable time on this program relitigating it.
So, wait, so that was less than 24 hours after they were urging all the people in the audience to vote on whether or not Pam, they stood with Pam Bondi or they stood with whoever. It's the craziest thing. So all this tells, and again, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about this yesterday on the program. There are a lot of people out there in conservative world who really don't have core values. They basically go where the money goes. Now, I'm not saying that is Charlie. I'm not saying that's anybody else. I'm just telling you, these are people that don't have core values. And these individuals out there, and they're the social media influencers that are turning on Donald Trump. They're turning on the administration. And that bothers me because a lot of people get sucked into all of this. With me, what I believe is what I believe. You can either agree or disagree, and you get to call in, and you can agree or disagree on air. But Steve Bannon is out there now saying that this is going to cost the Republicans the control of Congress. And he says that the House, the Republicans could lose 20 or 30 seats if the Epstein files are not released. I don't think that's going to happen. Because I'm not sure the average conservative, the average Republican really cares that deeply about this. I know it is a heinous thing that's happened here, and I believe that if you've done something to a child, you deserve the death penalty. I mean, it's really clear, and I've been pretty clear about that on the show. But it just seems to me at this point, it's a mess. It's a great big mess. And unless Trump finally says, okay, fine, let's release everything, I'm not even sure it would be resolved then, because then you do have this idea that maybe the Democrats fiddled with the list. And that is a fair argument to make. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about today. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Now, I want to tell you about something we're doing for our friends in the Texas Hill Country, and I need your help on this. We are raising emergency relief money for the good people in the Hill Country. So many people lost everything. Others, their homes were devastated, and if you have been through a flood, you know that it destroys everything with the mold and the mildew. So what we're doing is we're putting together emergency relief kits. It's $50 per family. So we're urging you at the very least donate $50. If you've got more money to donate, that would be great. It's all tax deductible, by the way. And we are partnering with our friends at Food for the Poor. So I want you to go right away to our website, toddstearns.com. You'll see the big red banner there, Help Texas Disaster Relief. Click on that and you'll be taken to the links and you'll be able to donate. You can also call if you would like to talk to somebody, 855-348-4673. Again, that's 855-348-4673. You can also text the word Todd, T-O-D-D, to 51555, and we will send you a link to make that tax-deductible gift. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real crisis, and we have seen it unfold. It is very bad, and the need is incredibly urgent, and only you can make emergency relief happen, and you can do that by stepping up to help our friends in the Texas Hill Country. Again, toddstearns.com. Click on the Help Texas banner. We're going to be giving a shout-out to our donors coming up a little bit later on in the show. We'll be right back, America.
He's a man of his word. Todd Stearns.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder. As soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Starnes radio show. Hope you're doing well today. Man, it was one of those insane mornings. Had a doctor's appointment. Then I had to go and get my the driver's license thing taken care of. So get this. when you move from New York to Tennessee, you have to. It's just you can't just get the driver's license. You got to go through the whole driver's test. So I had to do the driver's test this morning. And Dylan, I got to tell you, Dylan, I was a little nervous. I felt like I was back in high school again, getting ready for final exams.
How did the car do?
The car did great.
Were you able to use your rear view camera?
Oh, I used it all. And is
that a cheat code nowadays?
I guess it is. So here's what got me, though. This was great. So you get there at the appointed time. So I actually got an appointment. There was a line. There must have been 75 people in a line outside. And it's super hot here in Tennessee. So outside, people were sitting on the grass because we have the real ID, right? So everybody has to turn in their old IDs, which are not good. So now you have to pay more money to get the real ID. It's insane.
You're just waiting out there with everybody else. It's like a ride to Disney.
No. Because I had the appointment, and people were giving me the stink eye.
Yeah, I bet.
But hey, I did my due diligence. So I walked in. It took me all of it was 10 minutes, I guess, maybe 15. But you had to do the driving test.
I'm glad you passed, Todd.
Well, I thank you.
Got a lot of experience.
I am a legal driver now in Tennessee.
Congratulations.
The bad part was that I didn't, I was concerned about parallel parking because in New York, that's the only thing they require you to do. Everybody else drives like maniacs. But you have to parallel park, and that's the hardest thing. For some reason, that's the hardest thing for me, parallel parking. So anyway, as I was getting ready, there was an issue with the car. I inadvertently put it in a weird gear, so I had to pull off to the side and get that fixed and then resume. And as we were when we came back, the lady, it was a lady person who did the test. And she said, technically you did parallel park. You voluntarily parallel parked.
Did she count that on the test?
She said, I asked, I said, is this extra credit do I get? but I got 100. I got 100 on the driving test. And because Dalton Glasscock, the CEO of my company, he refuses to let me drive. He says I'm the worst driver he knows.
Wow. I would have to dispute that. You've driven me places and felt pretty safe.
I'm the worst driver is Caleb Park, who is now at Newsmax.
He doesn't have to drive.
He was we were in Houston, Texas. I'll never forget this. We were in Houston, Texas, going to an event, and he was trying to merge on the interstate, and he came to a complete stop. I'm like, what are you doing? Hit the gas. I said, you can't drive anymore. You can't stop on the interstate. Good golly. Oh, I probably shouldn't have told that story. We love you, Caleb. We love you. We just don't want to drive with you. All that to say, geez, Lou, whew, mercy. Anyway, shout out to all the folks there at the DMV. Nice people. And they said I took a very nice mugshot for my driver's license. So there you go. All right, 901-260-5926. If you got a good driver's ed story, I'd love to hear that. That's 901-260-5926. We'll be right back.
Great if life came with a remote control. You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear. Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do. What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right. So, Dylan, I got to finish telling you the rest of the story here this morning. So, it was me and, I don't know, maybe 50 16-year-olds. And they were all they all had to do their driver's test too, right? So, I was the grown adult there in the gathering. So, when you have to go out to your car and then they come out to you and you have to turn your blinkers on. And then you got to press your brake, light, and they got to make sure they're inspecting your car. And I guess, whether or not I know what my left hand from my right hand. So anyway, the lady gets in the car. She's very nice. Her name is Ginger. I give her a shout out, and great lady. So anyway, she gets in and she sits down, and I keep it at about 65 degrees in my car. And it's, 98 degrees. It's going to be 100 degrees here, right? And it's very humid. So she got in and she said, she let out a sigh, and I knew, I just passed my driver's test. She said, you don't know how many times we have to tell the 16-year-olds to turn on the air conditioning.
No way.
I'm honest to goodness.
Oh, my God.
So anyway, and I didn't think anything of it until we do the test, and, it was about a 15-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get back, and I just said, I'm really sorry if it was too cold in your car. And she laughs, and she hollers out at another driver's instructor who was just getting out, and she goes, you're not going to believe what he just said. She goes, what? She goes, he apologized for it being too cold. And she says, you don't apologize for that. And then the other lady says, well, those 16-year-olds, they never turn on the air conditioner.
Oh, wow. It is one of the more terrifying moments in your life when you're growing up is having to take that driving test. So, yeah, when the instructor asks you to turn on the AC, you're like, is that the brake pedal or the gas pedal?
It's true. But we got a good laugh. She says, when people hit a certain age, it's all about the AC. And it really is.
She was so happy to see you.
She really was. I think we even drove a little bit further just because the Cadillac, it's a pretty nice ride. Not going to lie, it's a pretty good drive.
I can vouch for that, yeah.
Oh, jeez. But then we were talking about, it's really funny, in that area, and everybody in Memphis goes out to, this is way out in the country. Otherwise, you're waiting in line for days, in Memphis. And so anyway, there is a speed trap. And I was very clear to ask, are there speed traps and what is the speed limit? And she said, oh, yeah. And then she said, where are you from? I said, Germantown. And she said, oh, I get it. Because we do have speed traps. You drive 5 miles over the speed limit in my town, they'll pull you over.
Yeah. I've learned that now since I've moved there.
That's how they do it. And then it's like 180. They're driving 180 miles an hour. That's the Dodge Chargers on the interstate. Let's go to Jessica in North Carolina. Jessica, I understand you have a parking suggestion for me.
Yeah, when it comes to that parallel parking, the biggest mistake people make is they're trying to roll and aim at the same time. You got to turn your wheels and then roll. So you aim the car and then you roll. But if you're rolling while you're aiming, you lose the ground that makes it so you can be precise about getting into the spot. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make any sense, Jessica.
I'm telling you, and then there's a special spot that you have to start at. You have to have like the driver's door at the car in front of where you're going to park wheel at the driver's door before you start the whole. There's a physics. But the biggest deal is that if you don't roll while you're turning your wheels, first you aim, then you roll. That's how you parallel park. And yeah, I could tell you my horror story from my first driver's test, but it's okay.
I didn't have Jessica. I didn't have to parallel park. I did it inadvertently, and I think I would have gotten extra credit, but I aced the test. I'm a good. I have been vindicated by the DMV, Jessica. My entire staff thinks I'm a horrible driver.
Well, let's vindicate everybody, and we need to get a cell phone license now, because the reason we have to get a driver's license is because cars can do harm, and people are doing great with those cell phones, too. So let's start with a
cell phone license.
Anyway.
All right, Jessica, thank you for calling in. Oh, my goodness. 901-260-5926. You know what's interesting, Dylan? I made a series of left-hand turns. I don't think I turned right at all. She said, turn left at the McDonald's, and I thought, we're going through the drive-thru. I immediately had a flashback to high school driver's ed. Miss Robisky.
Should have got the new snack from McDonald's.
Right? Exactly. Is that the chicken strip?
Yeah.
And the wrap.
Strip, yeah.
That makes it healthy.
Well, it's got lettuce, so that it's healthy.
Makes it extra healthy.
That's right.
I love to hear that. So, but we didn't go through the drive-thru. I was disappointed. But Miss Robisky, who was our driver's ed teacher back in high school, she was also the girls softball coach, and she made sure that we knew how to go through the drive-thru at Popeye's Fried Chicken. She always ordered a 3-piece, extra spicy. Miss Robisky. I wonder what she's doing these days. She's got to be retired by now. All right, 901-260-5926. Let's go to Morehead City, North Carolina. Tim wants to weigh in on Jeffrey Epstein. All right, Tim, have you seen the files?
Don't have the answer. Sorry, wish
All
I did.
right. Well, I thought I'd ask. You never know. You never know.
Well, I hope I'm like a lot of folks. This has just been bugging me to death. It's like you watch your team start to sort of come unraveled at the seam, and it's just troubling. And you mentioned something as you were going off with a break about something on the order of some tainted evidence might be in the files. Has that been out for some time, or is it fairly new?
What's that? The files, or?
Well, the fact that there may be some of the things contained in the files may be sort of planted or tainted.
Well, that was, I think that's a fairly new suggestion.
Fairly new. And here's the thing. I mean, this is just the way my thought process worked. I thought from the very start, and I'm trying to take a little heat off of Pam Bondi, I guess, by saying this. Why would you promise, and then knowing that you don't really have anything, and then suddenly you're not going to deliver? Why would you do that? I don't think you would do that.
No, I don't think you would either. Go ahead, Tim. I think I know where you're going.
And I know she gets kind of picked on about she loves the limelight and this, that, the other. But I think that they all got blindsided, and I think that Dan Bongino is signaling to his folks, you might say, that this is tearing him out of the frame. He can't hardly stand it, even though it seems like he's going to remain, and I think he's probably remaining because he feels an obligation to serve. But I think they all kind of got blindsided for some reason. I don't have the answer to that. I think there was new information that came out, and then it was like, oh, my gosh, what are we going to do with this? They might have done better at that point, I think, but I think they were all kind of blindsided, and I think that the little tidbit about maybe the evidence here is going to implicate people and it's not solid, that somebody has planted some stuff here, we can't count on it. I don't know whether that is legitimate or just the excuse for somebody, but somebody spoke up, Todd, at the last minute because they've been quiet, because this just came up. This happened just too fast.
Well, it did, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. Yeah, I think Bondi has been making a lot of mistakes, and these are rookie mistakes. I think summoning the social media influencers to the White House that day and giving them the binders that were supposed to contain new information but really only had old information, that was a big, big mistake. And I think it really cheapened the seriousness of the moment here. And I do think that once they started looking at the files, for whatever reason, there is stuff in there that they do not want the American people to see. And at this point, it's just conjecture because nobody knows. Nobody knows except for the people who've actually seen it.
I can't believe that they didn't understand what the look would be. You know what I mean about the look, how that would all appear to people. I mean, they got to know. They have paid enough attention, and they're going to understand how it looks. You just can't do this. You just can't. And I think that's what is tearing up Dan Bongino. He is signaling to all of us, I think, you guys don't realize how much I'm ready to just pull the plug and expose everything I know. And you have to leave it with these folks that we have trusted to say, okay, we'll give you some more time, and we hope you do the right thing.
Let's see what happens. But Bongino is basically doing what is the clinical term here? CYA is what he's doing, because he built his entire career on doing away with all of this stuff and he was all about transparency. So this goes against the brand image that he very carefully created for himself and cultivated over the years. And that's why he's in a tizzy right now. And I don't blame him one bit. But here's the deal. He should have just resigned, and he should have just done a clean break, because now it doesn't look good for him. So if I were him, I'd call it a day and spill the beans and be done with it and move on with his podcasting career. Tim, I got to run. Thank you for that call. 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. All right. I want to play this audio, and this is Mike Lawler. He is the congressman out of New York. And here's these are the talking points that the Republicans are now getting on all of this. And I'll just leave it here and put a bow in this story. Cut number 8, please.
Right. This morning, there is new criticism from the right on the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case. Politico is now reporting that conservative activist Laura Loomer is calling for the appointment of a special counsel to look into this. With us now, Congressman Mike Lawler, a Republican from New York. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us. What do you think a special counsel would accomplish, and how do you feel about it?
Look, as I've said, I'm not exactly one to subscribe to conspiracy theories. So from my vantage point, if somebody committed a crime, if somebody affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein committed a crime, they should be prosecuted. In the absence of that, frankly, this seems like a colossal waste of time and effort and frankly, a lot of nonsense. There are a lot of issues facing this country right now. A dead pedophile ain't one of them. And from my vantage point, you know, the world is a lot better off with Jeffrey Epstein no longer part of it. And as I said, if somebody did something, if there is evidence of a crime committed, then prosecute them. In the absence of that, what are we talking about?
Yep, there you go. So that's where things are. I will say this. The good news, I think this does not have any impact in the midterms. I really don't think it does. What will have an impact in the midterms is whether or not the Senate moves forward with all of these DOGE cuts. And there's reporting out of Politico, and we shared some reports with you a few days ago about this. It looks as though there are not enough Senate Republicans to support President Trump's DOGE cuts. So the effort to remove funding for NPR, PBS, USAID, all John Thune needs is 51 votes. That's it, 51 votes to start debate on the rescissions package. But so far, they don't have it, and there is a looming deadline. Congress has until Friday, ladies and gentlemen, Friday night, to clear this request. And by the way, President Trump sent this last month. And if they miss this deadline, President Trump will be forced to spend the money as Congress had intended. This is a great big mess, ladies and gentlemen, a great big mess. And if the Republicans in the Senate, many of them rhinos, if they do not move this forward, then I think that is going to hurt President Trump in the midterms. All right, got to take a break here. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Just a reminder, coming up, we're going to be giving some shout-outs here to a number of our listeners. Many of you have already joined our cause. Our goal is $20,000. We're well over $1,000 now, but we need your help. We are raising money to provide emergency supplies to our friends in the Texas Hill Country, and we need your help, ladies and gentlemen, and we've made it very simple for you. Just go to ToddStearns.com, click on the Help Texas red banner. You will see it as soon as you hit the website. Please click on that, and you can donate. Either $50 and $50 will provide one family with one of these great emergency relief kits. $500, you're going to be helping 10 families, and 50 families if you donate $2,500. But you can donate any amount. But $50 will provide for at least one family. We're partnering with our friends at Food for the Poor, and they did such an amazing job helping our friends in North Carolina, and that's why I know they're going to be great at helping the good people in the Texas Hill Country. So, again, go right now to ToddStearns.com and click on that banner, and you'll be able to make an immediate one-time gift. We also have information there for you to call in your donation or text in your donation. Got to take a break. We'll be right back, America.
Making radio great again. The Todd Starnes Radio Show.
Attention Patriots, Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild, by visiting angel.com/starns. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/TODD or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. And mere seconds ago, our good friend Congressman Andy Biggs out of Arizona sent a letter, and it is signed by a number of Republicans in the House, begging Senate Majority Leader John Thune to preserve the $9.4 billion in spending cuts, which the House passed in the rescission package. I just want to put all of this in perspective for you. It was Elon and the DOGE team that promised us $2 trillion in spending cuts, right? $2 trillion. We're looking at Senate Republicans having an issue with $9.4 billion in spending cuts. And again, right now, Senate Republicans do not want to defund NPR or PBS. They also want to maintain nearly $1 billion that will provide abortion pills and gay activism abroad. This is insanity. Insanity. And if it doesn't happen by Friday, it's too late. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would be urging you to call your senators, actually call all of them on the Republican side, and give them a good piece of your mind. All right, as promised, many of you have already donated to our big cause, our big disaster relief effort, and our goal is $20,000. We just started yesterday, and we're already well over $1,000. And I want to give a couple of shout-outs, if we could, here. First, I want to say hello to Janet from Marietta, Georgia, made a one-time gift of $100. Thank you for that, Janet. Marlene in Henrico. I'm not sure where Henrico is. Is that Virginia? Anyway, $150. God bless you for that, Marlene. Janet in Hendersonville, North Carolina, $50. Dina from Beaverton, Oregon, giving us $50 as well. Polly giving us a one-time donation of $50. Mary in Winchester, Virginia, giving us a $50 donation. Thank you for that, Mary. Julie in Atlanta giving us a $100 donation. And Christopher in Grays Lake. I'm not sure where Grays Lake is, but Christopher, thank you very much for that. And we'll be giving shout-outs to many more of our donors throughout the program and really throughout the week. And again, go to toddsterns.com. You'll see the red Disaster Relief Help Texas banner, and you'll be able to donate and help us purchase emergency supplies for the good people in the Texas Hill Country. All right, hang tight, everybody. Got to take a quick break. This is the Todd Stearns Radio Show.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
And wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So maybe you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're much happier with. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
A first-grade teacher at a school in Pittsburg, California, is defying federal orders to abolish LGBT and Black Lives Matter lessons. President Trump signed an executive order that would cut federal funding to schools that teach topics related to race, sex, gender, and politics, and that includes radical gender ideology and critical race theory, part of the president's plan to remove far-left indoctrination in grades K through 12. The teacher posted a video on TikTok showing her posting a giant LGBT flag in her classroom. In defiance, she unveiled a collection of storybooks covering topics like critical race theory. Now, this is the same district that employs a teacher who was disappointed that President Trump's would-be assassin missed his mark. So if the Pittsburgh Unified School District wants to defy President Trump's executive order, no problem, but they're going to have to find some other way to buy their textbooks and crayons because Uncle Sam is about to shut down their bank. I'm Todd Stearns.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
From the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
I'm a practicing Catholic. I got married in the church 2+ years. I don't see what we're doing in terms of advancing the bond of love and monogamy and extending that to families of same sex in any way, shape, or form takes away anything from the church or the sanctity of the union that my wife and I have.
I would just like to ask the mayor, as a practicing Catholic, do you believe the Bible is the Word of God?
Yeah, look, Pastor, I'm not going to get in a theological debate with you.
No, that's not a theological debate. That's just a straight question. Do you believe the Bible is the authoritative Word of God?
Yeah, I with respect, I guess I do. Now the response.
Well, then the Bible says when God created man, he said one man, one woman, cleaved together for life. That's a family. Jesus in the New Testament reaffirms that. All the writers of the Old and the New Testament affirm it. Adultery, bestiality, homosexuality was punishable by death according to the Old Testament law because it was so serious in those early years because it literally shattered the hope of civilization. The New Testament offers us, of course, grace. Those sins are sins. They are forgivable. Jesus died to redeem us from those sins. We're all sinners. You don't want to categorize sin.
What does the state have to do
But
with
the
it?
point at this juncture is, well, he's representing the state. He's
That's
coming
only
back and saying, I'm a
Bible.
Catholic, and somehow this fits into my Catholicism. And I'm saying, well, what's your authority then?
Wow. John MacArthur back on the old Larry King live show on CNN debating Gavin Newsom over the same-sex marriage initiative. I believe that was back during Prop 8. John MacArthur probably was the most consequential pastor, Bible teacher of our lifetime. And he was a man who stood on the Word of God and did not waver, not once, even during the China virus pandemic when churches were being ordered to shut down. John MacArthur kept his church open and declared it a peaceful protest. It was a pretty brilliant move. John MacArthur passed away last night, and a lot of people are remembering his life and legacy. And one of those individuals is a good friend of this program and mine personally. He also knew John MacArthur quite well. I'm talking about Dr. Paul Chappell, who is the pastor at Lancaster Baptist Church in California and also president of West Coast Baptist College. Dr. Chappell, good to have you with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Todd. I appreciate being with you and certainly understand that we need to be in prayer for John MacArthur's church family and his immediate family today as well.
It's just heartbreaking, and at the same time we celebrate because we know John MacArthur is in heaven. But how do you square those two things?
Well, the Bible is clear that for a believer to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And so whenever we have a time like this in the life of believers, we find comfort in that truth. But we also have to deal with the personal sense of loss. And I know that some of the statements that have come from Grace Community Church over the last month have really shown that admixture of faith and yet grief. The statement that was made at their church by one of the elders Sunday, I noticed that the elder began weeping as he closed his statement, just recognizing that hours were drawing near. And so that's why I mentioned just to be in prayer for God's comfort on that church family.
Dr. Chappell, when you look at John MacArthur, I think just the international influence that this man had, but I want to focus on what's happening nationally because he really did influence a lot of pastors around the nation.
It's amazing. Even those pastors such as myself who may have had areas of doctrinal difference, we still were influenced by various writings, and nearly every pastor that I know would cite a book or two that Dr. MacArthur wrote that was helpful to them. And I know that he had given me several books over the years that he had personally signed and wanted to share some truth. And he had that heart towards his church and towards pastors across the country. And I believe one of his great strengths was his approachability. Whenever we discussed theology, he was approachable. And I just appreciated that. I really, really appreciated, though, his stand during COVID, because I remember very vividly the county inspectors coming into our church and giving us citations for having church and telling us that they were instructed to go to Grace Community Church and Lancaster Baptist Church and to deal these, to give these various citations out. And he stood so firmly during that time. And he was criticized, sadly, by some of the left-leaning, I don't know if they would be classified completely as woke, but we'll just say left-leaning pastors in the nation, just for having church. It still blows my mind that they criticized him for that. And yet he stood so firmly. And I think that was something as a local pastor that I appreciated about his standing as a lion in those days. One other thought that really came to my mind was there was a bill being pushed through Sacramento a few years ago by the supermajority there. And the bill was requiring that every college would have a club for homosexual students. And the bill was something that was quite alarming. There was no exception given for private colleges. And so a number of us in the college work began to have conference calls, and Dr. MacArthur was on a few of those. And on one occasion, as we were talking, I mentioned the fact that West Coast Baptist College takes no government funding. And this is one of the reasons we see these things coming down the pipe. But Dr. MacArthur said, we will cease taking funding and just revert back to having a Bible Institute for our theological students before we will ever have this type of a club on our campus. He said, this is like the days of the Reformation, where the state is trying to tell the church how to operate. And while other colleges represented on those phone calls within a month started the gay clubs so that they wouldn't lose funding, MacArthur made it clear that he would rather lose funding than the blessing of God. That's the type of man that he was.
And again, it was just that impact, with the Master's College. And I remember, was it 2014? I had to go back and do some research on this. I got a call one day from John MacArthur, and at first I thought I was being pranked. And so I took the call, and he said, hey, I want you to come and speak at Grace Community Church. I had never been more terrified in my entire life. It was an amazing event. It was me and Dr. Vodi Bakum and a NASA astronaut. And I'm like, one of these things is not like the other. But just just in the fellowship and having dinner and spent several days with Pastor MacArthur, and he was just an authentic human being. What you see behind the pulpit is what you see, when he's not in front of the pulpit or behind the pulpit, and I think that's going to be missed, and especially from a journalism standpoint, because he was one of those guys, just like you, Dr. Chappell. We could call, and he was willing to talk about whatever issues and even debate those issues, like he did with Gavin Newsom.
Absolutely. I mean, that debate with Gavin Newsom, I hope, will be played again and again should Newsom continue to pursue higher office. And MacArthur pinned him 25 years ago as truly a compromiser and someone who just flips and flops. And so he was willing to take those things on. But his great heart was his own local church. And one of the things that I saw over the past few years was just his heart for the church. And I was going back and looking this morning at some of his texts to me, and one of them, when he was ill last year, he said, I just long for the opportunity to preach a few more sermons to our church family. And, that shows that someone is called. It's not a job. It's not something they did because there wasn't something else to do. He was a man called of God. And he longed to serve the local flock. And that was, I'm confident, his first love after the Lord Jesus Christ and his family, more than the national influence and such, was just being a good shepherd there.
And I felt that, when you're on that church campus and you're meeting people, and you sense that. I sense the exact same thing whenever I'm at Lancaster Baptist Church or West Coast Baptist College. It's a really sweet, fun, hospitable spirit, which some churches do not have, Dr.
Well,
Chappell.
and I'll tell you, and when he took his stand during COVID, and he said, I believe that we're commanded to assemble, and we're going to. I shared with him everything we were doing to assemble safely, and he shared with me. Todd, he was one of the very first men to share with me his suspicions about the virus. He may have been the first one, and things that are now coming out, and scientists are now allowed to say, and we all know that there was censorship going on during COVID, and MacArthur saw through that, and he said, we're going to meet, and his people rallied to him and to the Word of God, and that auditorium was packed every single Sunday. L.A. County took away a parking lot that he had been leasing for decades for $1 a year. They took it away from him, and those people parked miles away and still walked into church.
Wow.
So when a pastor loves, God and loves people, they can sense the genuineness. And I know that people around the country love to judge the motives, and they love to judge mega church ministries as being weaker. And I can see that at times, but I would just say that is a group of people truly committed.
I'm curious, and I was reading last night on social media, and someone said, all right, who are the next generation of those John MacArthurs and Chuck Swindoll's and Charles Stanleys and Adrian Rogers? I would count you in that in my list, my personal list, Dr. Chappell. But who are those folks, and why is it important that we have people like John MacArthur's in our nation?
Well, I'm honored that you would say that. I don't know that that's true. I hope God uses my life to its fullest. But I would say that we do need these men. I look back in my lifetime, and I can see great men of God that stood, like you just mentioned, and they would be able to speak into the issues of the day. And we're seeing those men slowly pass off the scene, and we're seeing younger men with larger ministries who are reluctant to speak into the issues, and that's also concerning to me. And so I believe that there are men out there who are standing. They don't have yet that national voice, and it will be up to God to tap their shoulder and bring them into those positions of influence. And I pray that they'll use that position of influence to speak the truth into our culture. And of course, the truth of the gospel is first and foremost, but then to speak what the Bible says pertaining to whether it's life or marriage or any of these other important topics.
All right. Well, Dr. Chappell, we're going to have to leave it there, and we always appreciate your great words. And folks, I would want to encourage you. I know there are so many conferences out there for you to attend and to be encouraged by and equipped by, but my favorite conference, and I make a point of going to this conference every year, and I want to encourage you to check it out as well, the Spiritual Leadership Conference there at West Coast Baptist College, and the website slconference.com. That's slconference.com. You're going to want to get to California for this incredible event, September 21st through the 24th. I will be there and hope to see you as well. Dr. Chappell, always good hearing from you.
Good talking to you, and look forward to having you with us the last weekend of September, Todd, and thank you for all you're doing.
All right. Dr. Paul Chappell, everybody, the pastor at Lancaster Baptist Church. That's in northern Los Angeles County. If you're in the neighborhood and you want to go to a great church, that is an incredible, incredible congregation. And I'm telling you, this conference they put on, it will just knock your socks off. It really will. slconference.com. All right, we've got to take a quick break. I know many of you were so encouraged and enriched by the ministry of John MacArthur. We're going to be taking your calls, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. In the break, head over to the website. If you haven't already done so, make a donation. We are raising money for our friends and listeners in the Texas Hill Country. $50 takes care of one family. So whatever you can do to help us out, we would love that. Again, ToddStarnes.com, and you'll see our big Help Texas banner. We'll be right back, everybody.
This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot Prayer, and a Liberty Lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at ToddStarnes.com.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
That's right. You know, Calitrin's safe with all medications, including all the weight loss shots that are so popular right now. In fact, Calitrin is exactly what you need if you're doing that, because you need to retain your lean muscle, you need to keep your metabolism boosted, and you want to tone and tighten that skin as you're losing weight the right way. So again, completely safe and what you need, even if you're doing other weight loss medications. It's also safe with your heart medicines. It's safe with your blood pressure medicines. Calitrin is the weight loss product that you can know and trust. It's been around. It's been helping customers lose weight safely for almost 30 years. So check it out. Website is toploss.com or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when.
Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Good to have you with us. Oh, I do have a funny John MacArthur story to share with you. When I was invited to this conference, Kirk Cameron, I knew there was somebody else in the mix. Kirk Cameron was invited. This was right as he was coming out with the, on his faith and being very outspoken. So anyway, I was flying into Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. And it was a red-eye flight from JFK to LAX. So I land, get my luggage, and they said they were going to send somebody to pick me up and for the conference. And I'm like, great, that's no problem. And normally they send over, an intern or, somebody that, is pretty low on the pecking order, right? And they're the guy or the gal that picks people up at the airport. So anyway, I get there, and there's a guy holding a sign with my name on it. So I get my luggage, and I'm one of these guys, the guy grabs for my luggage, and I'm like, no, I got it. It's, I'm good. Thank you, though. And I just like carry my, I don't like people carry my luggage. I like to do that myself. So anyway, we get to the car, and you can't get, the church is not terribly far from the airport, but it takes forever to get there because of the traffic in Los Angeles. This was pre-ice raids, so it was bumper-to-bumper traffic there. So anyway, we're stuck in traffic, and I just we just having some small talk, and I said, so what do you do? And he was asking me first about what I did, and I was anchoring at Fox News at the time, and I said, well, how about yourself? What do you do? Because he was sort of like he was an older guy, and which kind of surprised me because normally they send a young person to do the pickups and the drop-offs. So I said, well, what about you? What do you do? He goes, oh, yeah, he goes, I'm a pilot. I said, really? I said, that's great. What do you fly a commercial? What do you, are you a private pilot? Do you fly? He says, oh, no, I fly the space shuttle. They sent a NASA astronaut to pick me up at the airport. And I'm like, wait, what? And it turned out the guy, what a great guy. And we just had a wonderful time. And just hearing his story, and he was a devout believer in the Lord. Colonel Jeff Williams is his name. I could not remember his name, but he was a NASA astronaut. He was a commander at NASA and shared his personal testimony, and just really a remarkable man. All that to say, you just never know who you're going to meet when you go to these conferences. And, for me, it doesn't matter what I do in life. I think I'm always going to be that guy that's thinking to himself, what in the world am I doing here? But it was a fun conference. John MacArthur, wow, what a great man. What a great man. And he will be missed. All right, got to take a break. 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. Don't forget, head over to the website, help us out, and help the good people of Texas.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Get hurt in a game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right. We, just a few moments ago, we were telling you Congressman Andy Biggs sending a letter to the Senate Majority Leader John Thune, urging them to move forward on what are really, I mean, when you look at it, it's not all that much, considering that DOGE they were supposed to cut, $2 trillion. We're looking at $9.4 billion in spending cuts. That's a drop in the bucket. I want to go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. The author of this letter joins us from the great state of Arizona, Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, good to have you back with us.
Thanks, Todd. Great to be with you.
I'm just curious, why did you have to write this letter?
You would think that this is just not necessary, but we are hearing that there are members of the Senate, Republicans in the Senate, that want to pare down that rescission bill, and they really want to go to something like more in the neighborhood of $3 or $4 billion instead of $9.4 billion. But Todd, I mean, good grief! The mandate was given to President Trump, and President Trump, his administration said, "Let's do this rescission with regard to NPR and some of these AID funds, USAID funds." It's easy. It should be easy, but the Senate is waffling on it.
What's going on here? Are we talking about legitimate concerns? I mean, are there really Republican senators who want to fund drag queen shows in, Columbia or wherever? I mean, do we really have senators that want to support NPR and PBS?
I think some of them might want to support NPR and PBS. I think some of them are saying, well, we got to get PEPFARs. We got to give more money to PEPFARs, which is the AIDS drug in far-flung places around the world, even though this rescissions package doesn't really address that. So they're trying to muddy the waters a little bit. I don't really understand their motivations, but that's why we felt we had to write the letter.
This looks so bad. I mean, it's so infuriating that the president is basically, they're going to force him to grovel here, and I just find that so insulting. And especially to the voters who have demanded that we get our financial house in order.
Yeah, I mean, look, Todd, you know this. We overspend by over $2 trillion a year. We've got a deficit of over $2 trillion a year, and the president just gave us this. This is really a trial balloon because we've asked them to give us more rescissions. I mean, some of us in the House, give us more rescissions. And they said, well, let's see what can happen on the lowest hanging of fruit, NPR, which is hopelessly biased, USAID, where they're taking our money and abusing it around the world. I mean, if you can't get this through, that will explain everything you need to know about why we're moving so slowly on the president's agenda.
So let's talk about formatics here, because there is a deadline coming on Friday. What happens if Friday comes and goes and the Senate does not act on this?
Then it is as if it was just vapor. I mean, they would have to try to redo it again and see if they could do it. There's a hope that the president and his team will do what we call pocket rescissions. That's basically saying 45 minutes before the end of the term, the financial year, fiscal year, then he could put some stuff in his pocket and say, well, we're not going to fund this. But I really am afraid that this is going to be an embarrassment to the president if the Senate doesn't do this. But moreover, it'll be a repudiation of the mandate that he was given. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we had to write the letter, but we started hearing these rumblings. It's like, oh my gosh, we better get something out there and push on this.
And this is just a simple majority, is that right? That's all. Yeah. That's all we need to get these through. So we're looking at what, there are 53 Republicans in the Senate, and we can't get a simple majority.
Yeah, problem, real huge problem, and that's why we're saying, look, we're talking about the lowest hanging fruit. We're talking about the easiest things that are 80-20 issues, maybe 85-15 issues. You've got to do this, and it's not hard. It shouldn't be hard, but somehow they're making it hard. They kind of screwed up on the big beautiful bill. They reduced they gave us more of the Green New Deal back into it. I mean, that's the problem that we have dealing with the Senate.
I mean, and the BBB was a mess because of what the Senate did here, but we needed to get it through. The president needed that victory. It's just concerning to me, Congressman, and I'm curious, how concerned are you that this could come back and bite all of us in the backside in the midterm elections?
I'm really concerned. I'm very concerned. I mean, because I don't think you're going to see people who voted for Donald Trump say, okay, I'm going to vote for Democrats. I think what they are going to say is, I think we'll stay home. That's the bigger fear. They'll say, it's obvious that the Republicans are only slightly better than the Democrats. They don't really want to stop spending. They don't really want to balance the budget. They don't really want to take care of our fiscal house. And I'm afraid they'll stay home. And we can't do that, because if that happens and the Democrats take it back, Todd, you and I both know from day one they're going to try to impeach Donald Trump every day for 2 years.
Every day. I was warning people about this last night on my Newsmax show. You know, we cannot mess around here, because if we do, that's what we're going to get for 2 years: investigations and impeachments around the clock.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you and I lived through it before, because I came in when President Trump did. So the first 2 years we got some stuff done, not enough good stuff, and we lost a big majority. We had a pretty good sized majority, and then we ended up losing it. And the result, impeachment won over the Ukraine perfect phone call, then the Mueller investigation, a whole series of investigations, and then even after he ostensibly lost the election, and Biden was getting ready to come in, what did they do? They impeached him again. That's how relentless they are, and we can't even get our guys to say, well, you know, maybe we could cut $9 billion out. Maybe we could do that. That's the frustrating thing about being in Congress today.
All right, Congressman Andy Biggs joining us on our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. And real quick here, Congressman, so if they pass it as is, does it still have to go back to the House, or is that a done deal?
That's a done deal if they pass it the way it is.
But if they make a change, it has to go back to you guys.
Yeah, I would roll on back and come back. So that's one more reason. You should just do it, get it done, put it on the president's desk. And you know what drives me crazy? When conservatives are asking to make more cuts, we get pressured as being obstructionists. But when you have people in the Senate that won't even do this simple thing right here that we passed out of the House already, there's no pressure on them.
This is nuts, just nuts. Do we know how many Republican senators are on the fence right now?
We heard there's about 7 or 8. So
I am so disgusted by what you just said, Congressman. It enrages me. This is a no-brainer for Republican. And by the way, if you can't be at the very least a fiscal conservative, then you have no business being a Republican. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Well, I mean, isn't that one of the fundamental tenets of the Republican Party, is to try to balance the budget? I mean, this is why people like Elon Musk walked out of there saying, hey, you know, they didn't really do much. I mean, we ended up, Todd, on the big beautiful bill, what is it, $600 to $800 billion over 10 years, out of a $22.5 to $25 trillion overspend. I mean, this is the type of thing that just a rational person like yourself, you're going to step back and say, this is nutty. This is crazy.
It is. Congressman, we're going to leave it there. Appreciate the intel, and I hate that you had to send the letter, but I'm glad you did. And let's hope it lights a fire under some of these folks on the fence.
That's my plan. That's my plan.
How's the governor's race going, by the way?
Going pretty well. I'm still up, 30 points or so for the primary, and I'm the only Republican that's outpaced the current Democrat governor now.
All right, you're a busy man. I don't know how you do it all. I don't.
I'm tired, Todd.
I know you are. All right, Congressman, good luck to you out there on the campaign trail.
Thanks, Todd. Good talk.
All right, Congressman Andy Biggs, soon to be Governor Andy Biggs, running for governor back in Arizona. This is insanity, ladies. 7 or 8 Republicans in the Senate, and they can't come to terms on roughly $9 billion in cuts. And we're going to find out. We've got a pretty good idea of who these individuals are. We're going to be naming names here, but we need to be calling all of them. Every single Republican senator needs to hear from you, and they need to understand they're about to commit political suicide. Unbelievable. All right, I've got to take a break here, folks. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Don't forget, in the break, head over to the website, ToddStarnes.com. Click on that red banner. Help our good friends in Texas with our disaster relief campaign. We'll be right back.
It's Radio Free America. It's the Todd Starnes Show.
Grandma's Kitchen, where laughter and warm meals mingle. Each bite is a journey through generations. As you gather around the table, complement the meal with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies supplements. Our veggies supplement, made from 15 ingredients like garlic, onion, and cayenne pepper, can easily be opened and added to your favorite dishes, like homemade soups or dips. Not to mention our fruit supplement, which is made from 16 ingredients like banana, strawberries, and mango, making it a great addition to your homemade smoothies. So the next time you gather with family, enjoy Balance of Nature supplements as an addition to your favorite dishes. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your preferred set as a new preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer, trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653 and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Starnes sent you. Vault U.S. Gold. Buy smart, win big. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code Starnes and you're going to save an extra 10%.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said,
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Fans of Chip and Joanna Gaines are wondering what the shiplap. America's favorite fixer-uppers are facing massive nationwide backlash after they chose a same-sex couple to appear in their new reality TV series. It's called Back to the Frontier. The show puts three families in the wilderness to experience life in the 1880s. One pro-gay publication called the program a gay version of Little House on the Prairie. Queer Tea said Chip and Joanna, quote, serve queer Laura Ingalls Wilder vibes for gay dads stepping back in time. For Gen Xers who grew up fantasizing about Michael Landon as Daddy Charles Ingalls, disgusting. Taking you into the barn for a roll in the hay, your time has come. Jeez, Lou. Well, Christians say they feel betrayed. The American Family Association said the show promotes an unbiblical view of human sexuality, marriage, and family. Conservative writer Katie Faust, writing on X, took Chip Gaines to task. You are promoting a household where two men custom-ordered two motherless boys. Maybe you thought you were being kind or inclusive to the adults. You're actually complicit in causing these little ones to stumble. Pull the show. Well, joining me now is Katie Faust, the founder and president of Them Before Us, and Walker Wildman, vice president of American Family Association. Welcome to you both. Katie, I want to start with you. What does this say about the core values of Chip and Joanna Gaines? Have they been gaslighting their fans?
Well, it looks like they have been sliding into complicity for years. Megan Basham uncovered over the weekend that they've got a photographer that is still in their employ who has welcomed another male partner into his heterosexual relationship, and their 5 children are now under the same roof and this gay throuple. It looks like they have been signaling for a while that this is the direction that they are going in, but this definitely hit the fan base like a smack in the face. And you can see that from the comments after Chip tried to promote the show on X. I didn't see one supportive remark from the people that typically love what they do. And for good reason, because this absolutely is a step away from what they said that they always were, which is people that love God and revere his word.
Yeah, Walker, Chip Gaines responding to all the backlash on his X account. Here's what he said. Talk, ask questions, listen, maybe even learn. Too much to ask of modern American Christian culture. Judge first, understand later, or never. It seems as though he's upset that there's all this backlash out there, Walker. What do you make of that?
Yeah, the problem, Todd, is that there's nothing else to understand unless there's something about the show like it's not going to air or that Chip and Joanna Gaines aren't the executive producers. But he's not refuting the facts. And the facts are that Chip and Joanna Gaines built their entire empire on the back of evangelical Christians around the country to a multi-million-dollar business, very successful business, the Magnolia brand. And then over a decade later, they decide, oh, by the way, our faith and our Christianity, it's not that really big of a deal. And we're going to promote homosexuality, sodomy, and motherless children in the form of this TV show in this specific episode. And so it's just a slap in the face. It's demoralizing. And here's the thing. Don't claim to be a Christian and tout your faith and tweet out Bible verses if you're not going to adhere to the entire teachings of the Bible and Christianity.
Katie, I was watching an interview with the two guys, and they were very clear about what this was all about. As a matter of fact, the production company, Chip and Joanna, were recruiting specifically a same-sex couple. I mean, that was in the promotional materials here. So what do you think Chip and Joanna were ultimately trying to do here with this show?
I think they're caught up in the same distorted mentality that an awful lot of Christians around the world, pastors around the country, and definitely Christian celebrities have fallen into, which is that Christianity is about nice. Be nice to adults. That your chief interaction with the outside world should be to be welcoming and affirming, and to not make adults feel uncomfortable. Because you're exactly right. This wasn't some oopsie on behalf of the production crew or even the Gaines themselves. They were asking for same-sex couples to participate, and the two men stepped up. Why? Well, they told us because they want to normalize gay relationships, and in this situation, normalize motherless homes. That is not an option for Christians who know that causing little ones to stumble is actually an offense not just to children, but to our Lord. And so we, as the church, celebrities or just normies in the pews, need to get very, very straight that our job is not to be inoffensive to adults. It is to create a firewall of protection around children. And unfortunately, Chip and Joanna did the opposite here.
Walker, you have to feel bad for moms and dads who thought, oh, this looks like a terrific show for you sit the whole family down, you're about to watch, and then boom, right there in the living room. You have to imagine kids have questions. What does it say that moms and dads just cannot watch Chip and Joanna Gaines programs, assuming that it's going to be family-friendly programming?
Yeah, this is what the LGBTQ agenda has done over the decades, is they've poisoned the well of entertainment. And oftentimes what you find out is you watch these shows and you get three seasons in, and then boom, they drop either a homosexual couple or somebody who's transgender or somebody who's woke. So this is the MO of the entertainment industry, is to have a mostly good storyline, but then they drop in the wokeness, and in this case, the LGBTQ agenda, that makes people just not want to watch it. And so I think the ratings here are going to bottom. I don't think it's going to do well. And I think that the fan base is going to speak loud and clear that we don't want this woke television. We don't want this woke entertainment. We want wholesome, family-friendly television and entertainment that encourages and inspires and teaches people the true definition of family, and that is one man and one woman within the confines of marriage, rearing children.
Yeah, we don't need anybody rolling in the hay. That we're good. We're good there. Katie Faust, Walker Wildman, thank you both very much. Appreciate your great analysis. By the way, Franklin Graham now coming out and condemning Chip and Joanna Gaines for this reality TV show that features a same-sex couple. And now we know that Chip and Joanna and the couple meant for all of this to happen because they want this conversation to happen, and they believe that Christians need to stop judging. We'll be taking your calls on this coming up in the next hour. 901-260-5926. Is this much ado about nothing, as they say? 901-260-5926. And don't forget to head over, make a donation during the break at toddsterns.com. Let's help our friends out in Texas.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
Attention Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on, and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Stern. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
A New Hampshire school district has now banned parents from attending girls' soccer matches. A number of moms and dads received letters from the Bow School District telling them they were banned from entering school grounds. They were also banished from all athletic events on or off school campus. The school district was enraged after parents staged a silent protest over a boy on another team. Now, the boy is pretending to be a girl, and parents in the Bow School District were very upset, so they wore pink armbands with 2 X's for the chromosomes. The school district accused parents of intimidating, threatening, and harassing the transgender player with chromosomes. Anthony Foote told the New Hampshire Journal that he was banned and will not even be able to attend his daughter's homecoming match. He says it's not about transgenderism. His concern is about the safety of his daughter competing against a muscular man. Are you paying attention yet, America? I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute. Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Well, moments ago, President Trump went before the cameras there on the White House lawn and took some questions. So the president was asked if he was told by Pam Bondi whether or not his name was mentioned in the Epstein files. Wow, that's it's a loaded question there. Cut number 19, please.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
All right. I will let you interpret that the way you choose to, ladies and gentlemen. But President Trump there says he's leaving it up to Pam Bondi, and it'll be her decision to make. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think we would have a Jasmine Crockett moment right there on the White House lawn today. Shuckin'! Shuckin' and jiving. Good go. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. President Trump weighing in on AOC and Jasmine Crockett. Cut number 20.
AOC, look, I think she's very nice, but she's very low IQ. And we really don't need low IQ. Between her and Crockett, we're going to give them both an IQ test to see who comes out best. Now, I took my test. I took a real test at Walter Reed Medical Center, and I aced it. I got every one of all those questions right. Now it's time for them to take a test. Anyway, have a good time.
Yeah. You too, Mr. President. Have a good day. Have a pleasant day. It's interesting about AOC because she's easy on the eyes, ladies and gentlemen, but she's dumb as a brick. And I was interviewing Matt Gaetz many years ago. This was when AOC first came onto the scene and actually had Matt Gaetz in studio back during my Fox days. And I asked him about AOC, and without even taking a breath, he says, yeah, I date her. There you go. So it's always good when Republicans can find common ground with the other side of the aisle. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. I was talking to our good friend, our dearly departed colleague, Ben Dieter, the other day. He's up in Washington, Dylan. They gave the guy the literal keys to the Capitol building.
It's a dangerous thing.
I'm telling you, I don't get it, but okay. But he's doing a great job trying to keep everybody in line up there. But, Dieter was a big runner. I don't know if you knew this, but the guy could run. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to run to the supermarket. He would literally run to the supermarket. That's all he did was run. It was like, 20, 30 miles a day was just a piece of cake for this kid. I mean, and he was literally one of the fastest runners I've seen. And you know why? You know why he ran so fast? Because he's white. He's a white guy. He's got a power fro, though, so that kind of throws people. They're like, wait a second.
It's confusing.
Yeah, he's got a fro. He's got the fro going. And it's a good look for the guy. It's a good look. It really is. I'm not sure, though. I mean, if you're jogging or running in a race, does that create the wind resistance? Because Dieter with the power fro is like 6'1". He's a tall drink of water, that one. So I think one of the reasons he's fast is we would just drop him off in very dangerous parts of Memphis at dark and say, all right, good luck. We'll see you in the morning. And I think that's how he became such a fast runner. And I bring this up because there is a bit of controversy surrounding, how can I say this? white runners. No, I kid you not. So we're going to play some audio, and then there's a story out of the New York Times that I want to bring to your attention. This is Hope Waltz. She is the daughter of Minnesota Governor Tim Jazzhands. And Governor Jazzhands, who was a football coach and spent time in the locker room with the youngsters, his daughter went on this tirade about running, and apparently a running influencer. And as soon as she said running influencer, I immediately thought about Ben Dieter. And I thought, I wonder if this is who she's talking about. Anyway, this running influencer was invited to go to the Trump White House the other day, and Hope Waltz was enraged over all of this. Take a listen.
Running as an act is political, and you know who taught me that? Tim Walz. The first thing he told me when I was first getting into it in high school, granted, I don't really do it as much anymore. I go in spurts, but when I was first getting into it in high school, the first thing he told me was that running is a privilege, and being a part of the running community is a privilege that not all people have access to. Whether you do it recreationally or you race a lot or you are, at the elite level, it is a privilege. Whether it be you just having the time to run, access to funds to buy the gear, access to, healthy quality foods that fuel you as you're training and as you're running, access to, a safe, stable situation that allows you to be in a good mental state to be able to run. All of those things are hard to come by, and if you have them and are a part of the running community, that is a privilege. And that, again, was the first thing he taught me. So I don't really understand how platforming and administration that cuts mental health services, cuts, funding and literal shipments to food banks is entirely hurting the climate, because you can get into running in the climate. That's a whole nother thing. But it's cutting, funds to climate initiatives and actively hurting the planet in that way, sending people away without due process, villainizing minorities. All of those things are preventing people from getting into the running community, which is what I thought Kate's platform was for. But it's also just damaging to society as a whole. We should not be normalizing these people.
What the hell is she talking about? This woman here, Hope Waltz, this is the daughter of Governor Tim Waltz. And I mean this in the actual clinical definition. This is an idiot child, ladies and gentlemen. Someone told her, oh, yes, running is a privilege. And she took that to mean that that's a bad thing. That means that only white people can run. And I don't know what she's talking about. Running hurts the climate. Now, I will say this, and I only know this because back before my love affair with a pork bun, I used to be a runner, and I used to run a lot. As a matter of fact, I ran multiple marathons until I broke my ankle, and I convalesced next to a barbecue joint. It's a very sad story, tragic story. Delicious, but tragic. And I used to run half marathons, full marathons, the whole 9 yards. I will say this, that if you run for any extended amount of time, you could have an incident on the course, which would, I guess, could create methane that could, endanger the atmosphere. But I doubt it seriously. I doubt that much methane is being, emitted, if you will, during a race that would cause, a hole in the ozone. But I was doing a little bit of research as I heard what Hope Waltz was saying, and I came across this story. This is an actual column in the New York Times. Here's the headline: jogging has always excluded black people. What are they talking about? Have you seen any of the races? Everybody who wins is from Kenya. Very rarely do you see a white guy winning any of these races. Dylan, the reason why, you know why the guys from Kenya, why they win these races? Because they're trying to outrun the freaking pumas, right? And I think, honestly, if there were white folk in Kenya, I think they would run just as fast because nobody wants to get eaten by a puma. But this is the New York Times story. Jogging has always excluded black people. Born in Lily-White, Oregon. Oh, you racist state, you. So now Oregon is apparently a racist state. You bunch of lily-white people. It's a sport that's long claimed to be for everyone, even as African-American joggers have been persistently subjected to harassment and worse. What are they talking about here? Well, I was just jogging down the street with a flat-screen television in my hands, and the cops pulled me over. Well, yeah, I mean, yes, if you're running down the street and you're carrying a flat-screen TV, you're going to get pulled over by the popo. I don't care what color you are. So you can't make this up, ladies. This is insanity. So according to the New York Times and the governor of Minnesota's daughter, jogging and running is now considered to be racist. According to the Times, running has been a pastime marketed primarily to white people ever since the jogging craze, or as Will Ferrell pronounced it in Anchorman, yogging. The yogging craze was born in the Lily-White, Oregon track and field world of the late 1960s. Black people have not only been excluded from the sport, it's not even a sport. You know what? Hey, Dylan, you know what I feel like doing in just a few minutes? I'm going to go out jogging. Okay, well, that's really not going to happen. But let's just suspend reality for a moment. Hey, Dylan, what do you think? Let's go out. Let's go run a little bit after the show.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, crap, that doesn't work because you and I are both white. So we're privileged.
Disqualified.
I want to know who is telling a black person they can't walk outside their house and go for a jog. Who is doing that? Black people have not only been excluded from the sport. One survey by Running USA found under 10% of frequent runners identify as African American. They've also been relentlessly depicted as a threat to legitimate white joggers. What do you talk? May I just say something? One of the most discouraging things as a runner, when I was starting out as a runner, one of the most discouraging things is I thought I was running my heart out only to be passed by an 80-year-old speed walker in Central Park. I actually wanted to hit the guy. Okay, it was a woman. That made it worse. I'm just saying. So there you have it, lady. Maybe that's why Dieter grew the fro, so that he wouldn't be, he's trying to, I don't know. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, jogging is racist. Going to take a break. We're going to the phone line, so hang tight. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show.
About to back up and bring it. You're with Todd Starnes.
Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you, and don't go unprotected.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's Patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot prayer, and a Liberty lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at toddstarnes.com.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dylan, I forgot you can actually hear the show in the U.S. Capitol building. I'm getting text messages from Ben Dieter.
It is a national show.
I keep forgetting about that. He said, oh, my God, this is wild. He says, that was the most exciting thing in my day, perhaps even my week.
He's never going to get a haircut.
We got to get Dieter back. We got to figure out a way. We have to conspire with our audience to get Dieter back.
Well, if he's still on the meat diet, then I'm sure it won't be too hard.
No, we'll just go out and get a cow or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll buy him a heifer.
Yes.
That kind of came out wrong.
Game plan.
Let's go to the phone lines here. Morehead City, North Carolina. Suzanne, are you upset with me, Suzanne?
Oh, no, not at all.
Ooh, thank goodness.
But I am so upset to hear about Chip and Joanna Gaines. I probably started following them when the first house she ever renovated. And I thought they were such a cute couple, and then the kids would come in and bring cupcakes, and, just all about family and zippity-doo-dah. And then when they got really successful, I started buying her magazine, and then she created paint, and I said, yay, I'll use that too. And now you couldn't give it to me.
Do you feel betrayed, Suzanne? I mean, it's a lot of people feel like they've been led on.
Yes, absolutely. I just can't believe that two people that have beautiful children would even consider doing what you just told us that they're going to do. It is disgusting, and you're right. To get into a program that you like, and then they start throwing in transgenders and gays and queers and LGBTQs and all this, and then you have to stop watching the program because you're revolted by all of this. And those of us who are Christians are like, did you not read the Bible and hear that abomination in the eyes of God is the worst thing you can do? I don't get it, Todd. I mean, what is wrong with the people that think that it's okay to keep throwing this in front of people when we don't want it?
Well, it's a fair question you're asking, Suzanne, and there are some people, and we've seen this play out in Hollywood especially, that these people see the Christian community as, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but they see us as suckers, right? Because we're a very forgiving and very accepting community of people. And so when somebody says that they're a person of faith and they demonstrate that, initially, then we go all in. And it's an exciting thing to see because there aren't many evangelicals that are in Hollywood or in the reality TV world. And then when they get to a certain point, we all of a sudden get to see who they really are. And, it's a big disappointment to a lot of folks.
Well, and it's not just the shows. It's what they're doing to children in schools. If I had a child that was school age right now, there is no way that I would send that child to school. And I am all for Trump being able to get rid of the Department of Education, because if it's not put back so that the parents are the ones that make the decisions about what their children are taught and what they hear and what they're being exposed to in school, then our nation is just over.
Suzanne,
because the children that are coming up are our future, and our future is being fed BS.
Yeah. Suzanne, we got to leave it there, and I'm sure you're not alone, and I'm sure a lot of other folks feel the same way. Are you disappointed, ladies and gentlemen? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Hey, don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern tonight, the Todd Starnes Show on Newsmax. By the way, Newsmax on the New York Stock Exchange. Millions joining our news revolution. We are the fourth highest rated news channel just behind CNN. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax. And I want to encourage you, download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone. Start watching today. President Trump, he's a big fan. Get that free Newsmax app, and also check out Newsmax shares on the New York Stock Exchange. NewsmaxInvest.com. That's NewsmaxInvest.com. All right, folks, don't forget, head over right away and make a donation. Help out our good friends, our fellow listeners in the Texas Hill Country. We're raising money at ToddStarnes.com. Click on the disaster relief button. We'll be right back.
Great if life came with a remote control. You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are 2 ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Oh, I've got to give a big shout out to our good friends over at AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. They're a lot of fun, by the way. AMAC is the conservative alternative to AARP, and they're fighting every single day to protect the values that make this country great. I think that's why I really love them. Not only that, it's not just for seniors, right? It doesn't matter if you're 18 years old or 80 years old. AMAC is for anybody who loves America and wants to see it protected for generations to come. And you got to go check them out and get a membership. It's just a few bucks, and you're going to get that back in the incredible discounts, exclusive discounts on hotels, travel, food, restaurants, and you're also going to get a great magazine as well. So do your part. Go to amac.us/Starnes. They've got a page just for our show audience. That's amac.us/Starnes. Check it out. All the great resources there at AMAC. All right. Where is that star? All right. I was looking at this story here, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon me. The headline from the New York Times, PBS and NPR's last-ditch fight to save funding. Now, I don't want to out any of you conservatives that listen to NPR, but I know some of you probably do. Is there any value for the American taxpayer in keeping funding for PBS and NPR? The vote is looming. We have Senate Republicans that do not want to cut funding to NPR or PBS. And a lot of people are wondering, all right, how is this going to play out? And it seems to me, and I just want to talk to you as the owner of a commercial radio station here, if you're going to give $500 million a year to NPR, then don't you also, to be fair about it, have to give money to all of the commercial radio stations operating, the folks who are actually paying the bills in this country? It's not my fault that NPR can't pay its bills. They need a handout from the government. The same with PBS. If they need a handout from the government, that's a problem. Now, if Todd Starnes, the owner of KWAM in Memphis, Tennessee, if I was not able to pay the bills for my radio station and I needed to do something, you know what I would do? I would cut the budget. We would live within our means. And for the record, we don't give our listeners free tote bags. If you want a tote bag and you listen to KWAM, you can go down to Walmart or Target and buy your own tote bag. That doesn't mean we don't like you. It means we don't want to spend a lot of money to buy tote bags. And that's the problem with NPR. They're giving away too many free umbrellas and tote bags. But for NPR to turn around and say, well, you know what, we can't pay our bills because, we gave away a lot of tote bags and swag, so we're gonna have to ask KWAM to pay some of our bills. That's exactly what's happening. When you're taking hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money and giving it to PBS and NPR, you're hurting every commercial radio station out there. I'm just telling you, that's the way it goes. So anyway, I'm curious, do any of you see a reason why PBS and NPR need to be funded and propped up by the American taxpayers? 901-260-5926 is our number. That's 901-260-5926. Where is that other story? I've got to get myself organized today, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I want to play some audio here. This is from Mike Rowe. And, man, Mike Rowe and I have been on the same page on this issue for a very long time. And he is really excited about President Trump and the work the president's doing to bring manufacturing jobs back to the United States of America. Cut number 16.
I'm rooting for President Trump, too. If he reshores and we reindustrialize, you're talking about 2 or 3 million jobs in manufacturing that currently don't exist. You probably have the numbers better than me, sir, but I think in
5 million. 5 million.
Okay, well, open jobs in manufacturing right now.
We've got to train them. We've got to train them. We have to train. That is fundamental. Every community college.
Yep.
Right? We've got to bring it back to high schools.
Yep.
Right? They've got to train. They've got to teach. They've got to show people that a great technician's job starts at $75,000, ends at $200,000.
That's right.
You don't need to go to college. You're working in the coolest factory in the world. You know, HVAC is not fixing your air conditioning. It's a closed-loop system on the coolest technology system you've ever seen in your life.
Amen.
And the people who work in these factories...
He gets it. He absolutely gets it. Look, it's only a matter of national security, right? And I would say, you mentioned, I read 70, then I heard 90 billion. It's going to be 100 billion by the end of the day. A lot of money. A lot of money is going to come flying into this state. What I would propose, with all humility, is that somebody somewhere carve just a little sliver out of that, a fraction of a percent, and allocate it for better storytelling. Our country needs a national resource. Pennsylvania can lead this charge where any parent, any guidance counselor, any kid who is curious enough to explore the opportunities we're talking about can go to a destination and see people who look like them and talk like them and remind them of them prospering as a result of mastering a skill that's in demand.
I love this. And by the way, all of this coming as there's a huge announcement that $90 billion in new manufacturing companies are coming to Pennsylvania. This is huge. And this is happening all over America, thanks to the president's incredible negotiating skills. And let me tell you something. These tariffs, this is going to revolutionize. A lot of people were really freaking out about the tariffs, but the tariffs are going to revolutionize this country. And keep in mind, the end game here is that none of us have to pay any more income tax. And trust me on that, I look forward to that day. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Now then, there is still a lot of scuttlebutt about whether or not farm workers, the illegals who are working on farms, should be given some sort of amnesty. Tucker Carlson talking about this just over the weekend, Cut 11.
What do I think about amnesty for farm workers? I think it's the most grotesque thing I've ever heard. Are you joking? Amnesty for farm workers? We have like 60 million illegal aliens in the country. The country bears no resemblance to the country I grew up in, and it's not better, it's worse.
Yell at Tucker.
So I'm not going to sit for another lecture from anybody telling me we need to import more people to write code or pick grapes or any other task. Period. It hasn't worked. The country hasn't gotten richer. It hasn't become more unified. Those words should burn on the tongue of anyone who utters them. How dare you talk like that? Amnesty. How about deportation? What about that?
Yeah, I'm all for that, actually. Deport every single illegal alien. So now, as a result of all of this, a lot of the illegals are staying home. So they're not going to their jobs. They're not going out in the community. And Mayor Karen Bass has announced that she's going to be providing taxpayer money to the illegals who are not going to work. So this is sort of like COVID 201 now, where Karen Bass is going to be taking money from the hardworking people of Los Angeles, and she's going to be giving that to the illegals who are stuck inside their homes. Take a listen.
We also are going to have a reinstitution of the Angelino card, something that Mayor Garcetti started during COVID that will actually provide cash assistance to people. Because, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash. We're organizing food deliveries. I mean, there's all sorts of things that we are having to do now to protect people from the federal government.
Wow, this is insane. Somebody needs to go and have this woman arrested. She is breaking the law right now. And if you want to talk about a charge, let's talk about aiding and abetting. Let's start there. Every single elected leader who is out there standing in front of ICE, preventing them from doing their jobs, those people need to be arrested and they need to face charges. It's really that simple. There's no wiggle room. There's no gray area. It's a black and white issue for me, ladies and gentlemen, a black and white issue. All right, we've got to take a quick break here. 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. Coming back, we're going to be naming some of the great folks that have already donated to our big fund. We are raising money to help our friends over in Texas, and sure would appreciate it if you, during the break, would head over, make a donation, no matter how big or small. Every single dollar helps. ToddStarnes.com. Click on the disaster relief button. We'll be right back, everybody.
It's Todd Starnes.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies and fiber and spice supplements. Our ingredients are 16 whole fruits, 15 whole vegetables, 4 powerful fibers, and 12 aromatic spices. It's one irresistible combo.
Oh, I have a friend, Julia, who has taken a Balance of Nature now for quite some time, and she said, "Oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature." So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, "Oh, try it."
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Attention Patriots, Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild by visiting angel.com/Starnes.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/TODD or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, you know what we're going to do here, guys? So for every one of you that donates $100 to our effort, I will send you a signed copy of my brand new book, Star Spangled Blessings. So we'll get the tabulation, and the folks that collect all the money will let us know who you are. But if you make a donation to our Texas Disaster Relief Fund, our goal is $20,000, which is a pretty reasonable thing because we have a very, very generous audience. Then we will send you a signed copy of my brand new book, Star Spangled Blessings. So you can, again, make those donations by going to ToddStarnes.com and clicking on the red disaster relief button at the very top of the page. All right, welcome back, everybody. Happy to have you with us. A bit of breaking news.
Breaking news now on the Todd Starnes Show.
Thank you, Dylan. I forgot to alert you to that. Speaker Mike Johnson just poured a little gasoline on the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. The speaker doing an interview and says that Pam Bondi needs to come forward. We don't know what that means, but he says that and I want to read this quote to you directly here. Again, this is happening in the past few moments. He said, we're intellectually consistent in this. Reagan used to tell us that we should trust the American people, and I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. He put together a team of his choosing. They're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. This is not my lane. I haven't been involved in that, but I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This coming from the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He also said Pam Bondi, he says, I think she's done a good job, but he says she needs to come forward and explain all of this. Yeah, he also says he is anxious to get this behind us. I think we all are, Mr. Speaker. I really do. I think a lot of folks are very frustrated over the handling of all of this. This was amateur hour in the Justice Department, and we've got to move on, and we've got to be better than this. This story out of Phoenix, Arizona, and I just love it because as much as we are holding the illegals accountable, we ought to start holding the people hiring them accountable. Cut 15.
I imagine these are cases we are going to see more with a new administration in place. And the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Arizona says 42-year-old Vladimir Angulo has operated his business, El Taco Loco, on the backs of illegal immigrants for the past 8 years. Court documents claim Angulo knew what he was doing is illegal, and after a 4-month-long investigation by Homeland Security Investigations, it's landed both him and his employers behind bars. Since March, federal agents have been keeping a watchful eye over this property in Laveen near 63rd Avenue in Baseline and this home near 16th Avenue in Southern in Phoenix. They were surveilling the owner and employees of El Taco Loco. It's a taco shop with a brick and mortar storefront, a food truck, and a food bus. Last week, investigators executed coordinated search warrants on both properties. They arrested the shop owner and his employees, all of whom the feds claim are not U.S. citizens.
The owner of the shop is accused of smuggling and hiring people who are not American citizens. But that's under the federal government law, that's illegal.
Phoenix defense attorney Ben Taylor reviewed the 4-count federal complaint against the shop's owner, Vladimir Angulo. In it, investigators say Angulo employed 12 illegal immigrants in total, all of whom were seen working at his businesses, many of them paid in cash on a weekly basis. At Angulo's Laveen property, federal agents observed his employees living in recreational vehicles or trailers on his property. In one instance, an illegal immigrant told investigators he owed Angulo $12,000 for being smuggled into the United States. Angulo is now tasked with defending against an accusation he knowingly transported, employed, and protected his employees, who he knew had no legal way to work in the United States.
Defending these type of cases are very hard because it's a very strict law. If you're here in the country and you're here not with any sort of work visa or a citizenship, you can be deported back and found guilty in the court of law.
The punishment for a guilty verdict at trial, up to 10 years in federal prison and deportation back to Mexico, where Angulo and his employees were born. This kind of immigration enforcement a priority for the Trump administration as they zero in on other businesses who may be trying to skirt federal laws in favor of cheaper labor.
This is definitely a warning and a deterrent for other business owners who might be doing similar acts as this current employee. Because if you are doing this type of illegal hiring or human smuggling, it shows that ICE might come and raid your business.
All right. You know what? I say lock them all up. I mean, if you are a business owner and you're knowingly hiring illegals, then you deserve whatever is coming at you. Quite frankly, we ought to deport them too. That's what I say. But again, that's just me. That's just me, ladies and gentlemen. All right. By the way, Vladimir, so that sounds like a Russian dude. So a Russian dude owned a taco joint, and I guess what he hired the Mexicans to make the tacos. All right. Well, unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, just unbelievable. But again, this is what we're dealing with, and we've got to play hardball. And one of the best ways to crack down on all these folks that are out there and they're getting these jobs is to go after the people giving them the jobs. I mean, it really is that simple in my estimation. It truly is. All right, 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern tonight, we're going to have a great conversation with Pastor Jack Graham from Prestonwood Baptist Church, also Pastor Jack Hibbs from Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. Both of them are going to be joining us talking about the life and the legacy of John MacArthur. We're also going to have an update on this rescissions package, which is a complete mess. Congressman Self from Texas is going to be joining us on Newsmax. All of that starting at 5 o'clock Eastern tonight. And in the meantime, folks, tomorrow we're going to get around. We'll start releasing all the names of the great donors. Anybody who gives $100 or more, you will be receiving a personally signed copy of my new book. It's called Star Spangled Blessings, just a way of saying thank you for being a part of our effort to help our friends over in Texas. And again, head over to the website and you'll find all the information on how to give there. It has been a great day, folks. Again, get out there, have a good one, be safe and cool wherever you might be. This is The Todd Stern Show.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your